What is going on? You are listening and watching, of course, Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. And this is episode 366. I'm your host, Steve V, alongside Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. It's a beautiful evening, and I'm in my nice stringy shirt right here, darling. Had to stitch it up
Yeah,
for you guys.
exactly. We were saying a little Pirates of the Caribbean thing going on there.
Arg.
But in honor of Johnny Depp, since you seem to be on his side instead
Oh
of
my!
Amber's,
You want to call me out on the
just
podcast?
giving you
I
a little
love
inside
it.
pre-show discussion on
So
this.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
What were you
Okay,
going to
all
say?
right. I think that she looks more like the aggressor than he does. I will say, I will just say that. Okay, all
Okay.
right. Neither here nor there. Okay, continue. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
All
interrupt.
right. Well, we on this gorgeous night, as you said, I just came back. It's Wednesday night, thanks to Get Vocal, that we are live for Tags Live. And earlier today, I'm happy to report that I went to the theater and I saw Plaza Suite with Sarah Jessica
Ooh.
Parker and Matthew
Okay.
Broderick. Oh my God, it is so good, you guys. If any of you ever saw the movie, sometimes you can catch it on a network, TCM, one of my favorite networks, or just rent it. It was made in the 60s,
Okay.
and it was it's 3 vignettes in the iconic Plaza Hotel here in New York City. And
Mhm.
it's all set in one room in like 1968, 1969.
Okay.
Totally different storylines. So you're watching 2 different storylines. The beauty of it is the original had, who was the original Viv? The Walter Matthau. Many of you know the iconic comedic actor Walter
Yep.
Matthau played
Love him.
all 3 vignettes, and
Did
Matthew
he?
Broderick. Yes, and like the same name, Matthew Broderick plays in all 3 of them. However, in the original, 3
Mhm.
different actresses played the different parts,
Oh,
and
hell no.
because it was a total vehicle, and I remember hearing this on my favorite channel, TCM, that it was a vehicle for Matthew. Why am I
Walter
Walter Matthau? Excuse me, Walter Matthau. Matthau. And so in the new one, though, Sarah Jessica Parker plays all 3 roles, and it's so
good.
cool. So they give a chance to the female that she can actually diversify herself and play all 3 roles, correct?
That's
Right?
right.
And you think, yes. And
Because
really,
sisters are doing it for themselves too. Okay.
sisters. How does it go?
I'm doing it for themselves.
I knew you could say it. It is so good. If you're coming to New York City, please, it's going through, I think, June, Viv. You can still see Plaza Suite playing. It is so good. You will love it. I highly recommend it. I'm like on a high from it. And also, just a reminder that we are doing our deeper conversation next Tuesday, May 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern time when you join and are a part of our Patreon community. And we've been having some really good discussions over there, Kodi.
Oh,
What do you think
yeah.
about those?
I cannot wait. I love them. It's always good to get a little bit more insight into our listeners and have them talk back and have them weigh in on things that we talk about here on Tags Podcast. It's always so much fun. So make sure you tune in, make sure you come in and watch and join the conversation.
We get really personal and deeper. One of my favorite words.
Ooh.
And yeah, for a lot of
Mine too.
reasons. Yeah. Deeper happens next Tuesday, our once a month conversation, May 31st. And if you want to join the conversation, head over to our Patreon page and grab a tier. For now, I'm going to do it at our Virgin tier and above.
Cool.
So at the $10 level and above per month, go to patreon.com/TAGSPodcast and you guys can join the conversation. All right. Well, so much to talk about, Kodi. And I think I was confused with you, but I think my other co-host, I was talking about a reality show in the UK called Naked Attraction. And
Yeah,
You're like,
no.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I had never heard of this before you mentioned it earlier. And I was like, I'm going to stand by that I have never heard of a naked attraction. So go ahead,
Okay.
continue.
Well, and for newer listeners, you might not know what the hell we're talking about, but it's a show in the UK, British television dating game show. So think the dating game. It's on Channel 4 over there, where a clothed person is
Mhm.
faced with 6 naked people who are initially hidden in their booths. So essentially, if I was looking in the game, I would have 6
Uh-huh.
contestants. I would not see their faces. I would be able to ask them questions, Q&A,
Okay.
find out a little bit more about them. But I would be each time they take off a piece of their clothing and you get to kind of see their
Oh.
bodies, eventually they're naked and people are choosing based on body. It's kind of,
Oh.
it's not even trying to play the game of, oh, we're trying to get to know they are getting to know their personality, but it is definitely judging on body types as well. I gave you a look at all the 13 contestants' dicks,
Yep, you sure
and
did.
can you put that in the comment section for people to look for
Sure.
themselves watching us live? What did you think of some of the dicks that you saw in there? Because I don't know. They're regular people, right? There's one guy I have to say who's second on the list, and he has these amazing tattoos. One of an eagle, and the other one of I guess a coyote that are gorgeous. He has low hanging balls, so he's my
Huh?
pick. Just
Okay.
saying, and I would definitely be asking him a lot of questions too.
I
But
bet
there's a
you
lot.
would.
But also, I'm intrigued by the tattoos as much as I am anything else. What
Okay.
did you see in there that was intriguing to you or not?
Well, I mean, they're all perfectly fine penises. I would prefer to see the rear view beforehand. So let's just put that out there. I would to make my judgment based on what's going on behind. But the penises are fine. One of them looks completely like an elephant trunk, and I'm surprised that you didn't say anything about it. It's so big, it's so beautiful, and it's uncut. So I don't know. Like I'm going to put in my vote for you for that one.
Okay, I mean, I'm still going with my tattoo guy, but
Okay,
one
you
thing
can
that's
have two
really
dates.
interesting. One thing to keep, two things to keep in mind is people tend to be growers, not showers. So
Okay.
they're not hard on this when they're doing it. So you never really know on that front. The other thing is you can totally tell this is a European show because 90% of the penises we're looking at, except for the one you're talking about, the elephant one, are all uncut. And did you not notice that part of it, Cody?
Oh, I noticed for sure. I think that's amazing. I love an uncut penis. I don't have no preference as far as
I was talking
cut
to a
or
friend of mine
uncut.
who does have a problem with, or they don't
Uh-huh.
not have a problem with it, but they
Yeah,
don't like
they have a preference. Yeah.
that it's not their thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know that because I think it's gay men for the most part don't really care. Can we ask a poll for those watching us? Do you care
Let's
or
take
not
a
care?
poll.
And ram it up your ass. But no, I'm kidding.
That's
But
my favorite kind of poll.
okay. Yeah,
So
Billy says he doesn't care. People, the female and the bunch here, I'm not a fan of it. I didn't want to say that over off camera over here, but you were the friend, by the way. James says, I don't care, but I like uncut. Oh, okay. So you actually like uncut. Yeah, there's a whole host of people that actually prefer uncut. And for those of us that are cut, it's always like, there's some people that have dated me, Cody, that
uh-huh.
think because I'm Latino that I'm going to
Yeah.
be uncut. And I have to, this is maybe 15 years ago. I don't know if people are really in that boat anymore. But I had to say, I'm not. I mean, I'm sorry, Roman Catholic raised and just not what you think.
Same
But it
here.
made me, yeah, same with you too. What are
Oh
else
yeah.
people saying, Cody?
People are saying Keaton says he would be excited to see. Damon says prefer cut unless it's from Louisiana, which is very specific. So I that made me giggle a little bit. I was
You
like,
need to tell us a little bit more about
why
that, but
from
okay, yeah.
why from Louisiana? And Teddy says, I like both equally. They both provide different experiences that are equally enjoyable. And I said, you know what? Variety is the spice of life. So I agree with him with that.
I like that. Yeah, I think I'm either way. I've been traveled internationally, and I don't. Yeah, I don't think I have a preference on it
Yeah, me
because when it's
either.
hard, you can't really
It doesn't. It's the
tell. It
same.
doesn't.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
It's
yeah.
a dick is a dick is a dick, right?
Exactly right. Is Joe? Can you out your boyfriend Joe?
Oh
What he
no,
is?
no, 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 no. I
I'm
can say
gonna
it's
get.
very nice and I enjoy it. That's what I will say.
Okay, I like that. All right. Well, staying in the UK trend of reality shows, there's a new
Okay.
show that premieres tonight, y'all, on Amazon Prime, which is called Lovestruck High. Prime Video. You can check it out. It's actually narrated by who's the narrator? Lindsay Lohan. Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for being here today, my producer off
I
camera.
love it. Thank you
Yeah.
so much,
Did you
Viv.
watch the trailer for this?
We watched together.
Yeah, but I sent you the trailer of it. That was
Oh, I
just
haven't
the
watched that yet. Yeah, I haven't
okay.
watched that
It's a
part.
brand new show on there of the high school students, and they're all basically it's a reality show on finding love. There's a lot of queer representation in this new show, Lovestruck High, which I'm really excited to see. But in their promo video that we were watching offline earlier, they talked
Yep.
about red flags and green flags is what they use, but red flags in dating. And some of the things, let's just go through some of those, Kodi, and we'll see who agrees with what, if it's a red
Okay.
flag for you, if you
Yes.
agree or don't agree. Some of them going, if you go to, a lot of the girls are saying, if you go to the guy's house and the bed is messy and unmade and it's just ratchet, I can definitely agree for when you've gone over to some guy's house and it's just crumpled up, there's a potato chips maybe and some other stuff that you don't know what's going on in there,
Uh-huh.
and it's just like, oh, and I'm gonna get my naked body in there. Think
The
twice
mattress is
about
on the
that.
floor.
I mean, my mattress was on the floor at one point in time,
I
but yeah.
mean, but
But my
did you
bed
change
was
your
made.
sheets? Exactly. Did you change
I
your
changed my
sheets?
sheets. It was on the
Exactly.
floor. Yeah. I feel like
Were there
judging
potato chips wrappers all around either?
yeah. Do you have a problem with that?
Oh, for sure. That's a red flag. You got cleanliness is next to godliness.
Exactly. Yeah. And then somebody said like a really thin pillow, which my pillows right now they're those Tempur-Pedic cushioned pillows, and I love them.
Mhm.
And anytime a guy has come over or a guest that stayed in my bed when I wasn't here said, "Oh my God, your pillows are so amazing." I hug my pillow now when I go to sleep. I don't know if wishful thinking, but it's my comfort zone. It's my Linus blanket, if you will, and I'm happy
Oh, that's
for
so
it. Yeah, yeah.
cute. I
But if
love
you have
Linus.
a thin pillow, absolutely not. No. Mm-mm.
I have
And
okay, so that made me laugh because I have thin pillows, but they're just for decoration. I don't sleep on them. Does that count or does that not count?
can you pull up an example of it, or?
So I have I have like 8 pillows on my bed. And what I do is I sleep with two pillows and then maybe two more pillows. They're thin pillows and they're just there to have the
Display?
the pillowcase on there. So for display. Exactly.
Oh, sounds dramatic and extra. So I guess I'm here for it. Check, you win. All right. Some of the other things that they talked about is people that talk about horoscope too much. And everybody in the promo video, if you remember when you watched it, Kodi, it
Mhm.
was 90% of them put a red flag. I think you even had a red flag off camera here, that talking too much about horoscope is a red flag. For me, absolutely not. I
Oh, me
love talking
either.
about horoscope. I want to know
Me
your
too.
horoscope. I immediately, it's not like I'm going to, I dated Aries before, and I
Hmm.
am a Capricorn. Now,
Hmm.
Capricorns have the horns, and so do the Aries. The Aries are a little bit fatter and not as pretty as the horns of a
Ooh.
Capricorn, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay.
And I just think we're going to butt heads too much in general, or they're going to boss me or try and boss me around too much, and it's just not going to work.
Hmm.
So That's a red flag for me, and I like to know that. It doesn't mean that I'll exclude you. If you're hot, I'll have sex with you, but
but you won't
but
get
then
a
I
call
know
back afterwards.
you won't get a call back. Yeah, now we're casting. But what do you feel about, and what does the audience think about when people talk about astrology?
Horoscopes. Oh, okay. Yes, I am totally fine with it. Like you said, I don't base my life or my communication with somebody, how I get along with somebody based on horoscopes. But I think it's interesting to find out what people's horoscopes are to see how we do interact. Because I think that sometimes it actually is true. All my best friends are Cancers. So, and you are a Capricorn, my sister's a Capricorn, and we get along
My
in a
sister's a
very similar,
Cancer.
exactly, we get along in a very similar way to the way that I get along with my sister. So
That's a really educated way of saying what we're talking about. I think it's really easy to dismiss the talking of astrology, but I think what you're saying is how I take it. It's like we know a little bit about certain signs, we know a little bit about ourselves and astrology, and so it's fun to see if it actually works in that. And it doesn't mean that we're going to dismiss you completely, but I think it's fun. It's what's the harm? I mean, there's so much hatred and boring things to talk about that you talk about with people all the time, and I think it's kind of fun to see if the guy you're interested, if you guys fall in line with some of these normalities of astrology signs or don't. But I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And a red flag for me was the fact that they said that they thought horoscopes were a red flag, but they still were like, "Oh, but I don't date an Aries." That's what they said in the promo.
Or a Pisces, I think. Yeah, right.
Right.
What are the people saying, Kodi?
The people are saying, "Oh, Vivian, your sister is a Cancer." She said that too, and I was like, "I know, girl." And Blake goes, "I'm an Aries, and I think I get along well with Sagittarius, but I'm not a fan. I'm far from an expert." Damon says horoscopes have validity sometimes. They get along with Leos 100% of the time, and Vivian goes, "Okay, maybe it's not a red flag." And Teddy goes, "Her name was Amber." Oh, he went back to Amber Heard.
You're back on our original topic. That really isn't a topic of tonight's conversation, but that's okay. He was a part of our pre-show. Blake, I'm just curious, as an Aries, are you bullheaded and do you tend to control situations? Wait for that answer, because we're going to talk a little bit about relationships in a little bit, because one of the things that they talk about on this show is people that talk about their exes too much or are friends with their exes. And you and I were talking, we have different viewpoints on this. I do not have a problem. I'm friends with most of my exes. Isn't that true? Yeah. I'm pretty much friends with all of my exes. And in fact, even one of my first boyfriends ever that we dated for a good solid 3 years, we are still in the 90s. We are still super close. He's an Aries, Kodi.
Yep.
And he tends to, but see, now I know how to work with him. So, for example, he is an amazing cook. He should have been a chef.
Yeah.
Like, he knows every answer. He can cook up a storm. He knows spices. He knows everything you need to know. And I'm getting into cooking, so I know, hey, I'm not going to say his name, but can you tell me, is this right? And I act all innocent when I ask. And he fires back because he's a control freak on exactly, and I get all my answers, so I don't even have to Google stuff, and I cook up amazing things. And he tells me how to store things. He tells me more than I need to know about certain things, which is great. I just I say a lot, but I learned how to do it. I tune in what I want.
That's exactly how it should be done. You should take what you learn from a previous situation and apply it and learn how to use it to your benefit in future situations. I completely agree with that. I think that Oh, we were talking about the red flag as
X's.
far as exes are being concerned. And I said it wasn't a green
I've already been in a
or a
situation with
red.
you, Cody. I think it's a red flag for you because we
Don't.
were in a situation. We
I
were
said it
in
was
a real life.
I say it's a yellow flag because it depends on the level of their interaction and how they communicate that they were exes to me. So it's definitely a yellow flag. It's not a stop, it's not a go. We are
But
I'm
what if they
still
get it? What if the ex got us into a free into a club?
Girl.
Why do we have a
know.
problem?
Let a bitch know beforehand.
So you're saying you didn't know that this was an ex,
Exactly.
and that created a red flag versus a green flag. I don't know why this is green, but yeah,
an emotional response. It created red something.
It created yes, fire engine red. Yes, exactly. Okay, so that's another one. What were some of the other ones that we were talking about? That
some of the other ones we were talking about, yes, emojis and the good night and good morning text.
So which one do you want to do first? Good. Let's do the good night. So one of the things they're saying on this promo clip is when you're dating somebody, do they text you good morning and good night? And a lot of them, mind you, this is this brand new show, Lovestruck High. So these are high school students, but a lot of us don't ever grow up from that time period. Yeah. So we can put ourselves in that category. If you get a good morning text or don't get one, it's a red flag. And to me, no way. I don't want to feel like I have to say good night and good morning. I want to feel that it's natural. If I feel it one morning on a Wednesday or tomorrow after our show and I woke up because we had a great show and I want to text this guy, maybe I'll text him right now on the show. I don't know. But maybe this is when I'm feeling it. Maybe this is when I'm feeling it. But I don't want to have to feel that it's mandatory. I hate that because then it becomes chore-like. Do you like that, Cody?
So I do like it because because it shows me that you are thinking of me. So I like to be shown that you're thinking of me. And I do enjoy getting a good morning text, especially if we're not in the same place. I enjoy getting a good night text. So we say good night to each other before we go to bed. And this is in a committed dating relationship.
So we're talking about early on. So let's say, Cody, I think they're talking. This is high school. Remember, we're in the minds of high school students.
Oh, that's right. I have to take it back to high school.
But let's bring it to us. Kind of, you're dating somebody. Think back to 3 months into your dating moment with Joe, and I do like if you're getting serious about somebody in those first 3 months. As it escalates, I think it's probably good to say goodnight. However, what if in those 3 months, you and I decide to go to the cock, which we've done when fortunately it wasn't happening when
you are calling me out all the show.
Are you going to be like, oh, shit, it's a Thursday night. I didn't have to work tomorrow. And it's 1 a.m. Did you text him at 11:30 because he went to bed early, but you know that you were about to get some at the cock? Or what?
I think yes is the answer. I did text him before I went to the cock.
And then turned your phone to good night silent mode and had a good night. Yeah, but what about you couldn't do the good morning, Cody, because first of all, you're not a morning person.
As soon as they get up though, at 10:30 o'clock, I was about to say.
But see, I think I don't want to do the good morning one because I think everybody has a different morning. And some people are up super early at 6 a.m. A lot of my LA friends will text me at the crack of dawn, which is fine for me because I'm on the East Coast. So it's 9 o'clock here. But do not be texting me at 6 a.m. here. A lot of my friends here in New York know nothing before 9 a.m. Do not do it. You'll get the throw up emoji.
From today, I put on my silent. Joe has tried to call me before if he wanted me to like run an errand early in the morning. He's like, I could not get through to you because you have
what's that thing on your phone? Or Cody's not accepting any text. It says right now. What does that mean?
Do not disturb mode. I cut it on when I go to sleep because I do not like to be. And there are certain people that I allow, like my mother and my sister. And I probably should put.
They can break the do not disturb web.
Yeah, I have allowed them to break it, and because they know. I should probably allow Joe too, but we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, you might.
He just screamed at me from the other room.
Oh no! Okay. Yeah, you better do that really quickly.
Yeah.
Any other things that we wanted to? Do you want to read a couple things before we move on?
No, let's talk about what your red flag is.
So my red flag, because we were talking about this, is over texting.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you an example. There's a guy in LA. We used to be F buddies back in the day in LA when I lived there. And he reached out to me recently, and I'm going to be going to LA because we're nominated for Best Sex Podcast by Cyber Socket Awards. And it's happening next Tuesday in LA. I'm super excited. I hope, Teddy, you'll be able to come. Anyways, I'm going out there, and he reached out to me and said, hey, because we used to have a good situation of sleeping together. And well, he wants to see me, and we're getting together. He has this knack, but I think I stopped it, of over texting. Okay. So he'll send out a text, and he's one of those early morning risers. So at 9 a.m., I'm getting texts at 6 a.m.
But it's LA though.
From him. So, it's LA. So I'm getting a little later at least, but he's up early, but that's okay.
If he wakes up at 6, then you're getting it at 9, and that's not cool. I would not.
Yeah, but beyond that, I think I'm looking forward to seeing him, but I have to watch it, and I think I put it to bed because he was over texting. So he would say a couple things, hey, how's your day going, this and that, and we would start texting, and then he continuously goes and blah, 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 and on and on and on. And I'm like, my mind does not work on text. I can't. I just can't. It's just not my way of. So I think I've taught him, because I think you can teach people how you want them to treat you.
You definitely can. I agree.
And I've smashed it a little bit. So in the last 2 months, I've managed to, now I get like 15 to 85 texts now from him in a period of span. And I can handle the 15 before I'm like, no, and want to throw the phone.
But you how to do it. So
you have all the tricks.
Girl, I know. I know the iPhone inside and out. Okay. So she said, and say that I do not like it when somebody texts you 18 times what could have been one text. That annoys and I have a really good friend that does that. And that really, I've told him that could have been one. You should just text that one time. He's like, I just want to make sure you're paying attention. He does not care.
I think I know this friend. Yeah,
I think you do too. We're not going to say his name. He might be in this room in just a minute, but we will see.
A couple things that people are saying is boundaries. Yes, Teddy, boundaries. I set the boundaries for this guy, and I think he got the hint. Thank God. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him, because once I set that boundary, I'm really happy that he picked up on the cue. So that now, because if he hadn't picked up on the cue, that may have led to, speaking of red flags, other red flags. And I may have ghosted him or decided, you know what, I have other people I could be seeing in LA. I do not need to go to Santa Monica and do this whole thing. But because I'm going to do it. So I'm really excited. Somebody else said, Damon says, good night text calls are a must.
See?
And we're talking about in those early, I think, do you agree off camera? Yeah. thumbs up to the good night text. I think you're right. Yeah.
And Joe agrees with me too. So I will just put
Okay.
that
In the
in
other
there.
room. Okay, good. I love it. What is James saying?
James says that boils my piss. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard that in so long. When someone texts too much.
I've never heard of that. Oh, boils my piss. Wow.
That means you're so mad that your piss is boiling.
I love that.
Man, that's hilarious. Also, another one of my red flags. This is the last one that I'll share too. If they don't like Drag Race, because that means they're not in touch with their feminine side.
Okay. And I haven't even my long-standing college roommate that wasn't into it forever that just got into it. Now they're watching like from season 1 on. I'm like, child, just watch the current season and go forward. You don't need to start all the way back there.
Let's do it. I want to watch it.
Oh my God. I have other friends though that are rewatching seasons, and I'm like, how are you rewatching? You already know who won.
I could
That's
watch
a little much.
over and over and over again. It's so entertaining.
Okay. Maybe we'll watch Drag Race. Yeah, that'll be fun thing to do. Okay, yeah. Speaking any other Drag Race, Billy says absolutely. Yes. Right. Somebody else, I wrote this note on there, and maybe you can help me figure it out. I wrote not replying. People. Oh,
being
I know what I want.
Red.
Okay, 2 things I wanted to. We're really like expanding this, but I guess it's
right?
a hot topic because this is. You know what? This is how we communicate. And you were telling me off camera, breadcrumbing was a thing, and I wanted to talk about this on the. Do you know what breadcrumbing means,
No,
Kodi?
tell me.
I have. Essentially, it's threading somebody along via text. I had a term here somewhere, and I can't find it anywhere. But is that? Am I saying that right? So essentially, you like, particularly on the apps. I have a guy on Scruff that continuously reaches out every so often.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
And the recent one was, and I was kind of, because he's kind of hot in the pictures, and I want to get together with him. I'm excited to get with him. He looks hot in the pictures. We just haven't made it happen. I always say I don't do well on the apps. And so he recently said it. And then he recently said, are you on like NS something? Maybe I should get it up really. What is that? And he's like, it's another app. And I said, no. And he said, if I can find it really quickly, you look like a lot of guys on that app. And I was like, oh,
what?
That is not something that you say to somebody. Is it
not cool?
So he said, are you on BBRT? Does anybody know what BBRT? And I said, I said, what's BBRT? Well, actually, when I responded, I said, what's BBRC? I can't even get my acronyms right. But he said, an app. Some guy looks a lot like you. And I said, oh, I see. And then he didn't respond to that. So what the fuck is that happening?
Oh, do you want me to say what it is?
Yes.
Bareback RT. It's a community for men cruising for raw men on men bareback sex, no condoms.
Hey, oh, I mean, but when I said I'm not, he's like, there's a guy that looks like you, and I said, oh, I see. Didn't respond back.
No one looks like me, Twirling.
But
okay.
I just think this guy's been breadcrumbing me along, if you will, that term. And that's a big red flag for me.
He's on BBRT at the same time.
Okay, yeah. We all know people like that, don't we?
Oh, for sure. When I was on Grindr and Scruff, I would be in contact with people, and then I would say, oh, well, let's meet up, because I'm a meet-up person. I like to get it out of the way. I like to make sure you're who you are in enough time for me to not get attached to you. And it's definitely a red flag when people don't want to meet up. It means that they're trying to catfish you. So if they don't want to meet up, then they're not worth your time.
Blake says maybe he just was trying to figure out if you're into BB. We've been talking for 2 years now. We've been wanting to connect. He could have asked me. I'm on prep. I think I have it on there. He could have easily asked that question. I don't know. That was lame, I think, to say I look like somebody else. I was going to respond back. I do not look like anybody else. I am myself. Don't get me started on my high horse. And yeah, there's only one
you are
here.
Too fabulous for that, honey.
Okay. Do not get us started on that. Yeah. Vivian says, my sister off camera, I meet up. Yeah, I'm a meetup person. And what is the deal with not wanting to meet up? Breadcrumbing happens when it's just stringing people along. And who wants to waste all this time? Did you do that a lot, Kodi? Or no, you met your boyfriend.
Yeah, I met him as soon as possible.
You put breadcrumbs in your pasta sauce. I mean, you don't in your meatloaf.
No, that's too much carbs. I don't even know what breadcrumbing is. Okay, I'm good on that. Blake says that maybe somebody is using your pics on BBRT.
Oh, well, we were hacked. So at this point, maybe I need to go to BBRT. It is BBRT, right?
Yes. Yes,
okay.
It is.
Okay. Yeah. He put baby food on what? Wait, what are people saying on there? You read it.
I wasn't reading it.
You're not reading that way. Okay. And lastly, people not replying. So this is a whole thing when people are saying when they've seen you've said something and they're just not replying. Kodi, do you get mad at that? You know me, I'm a quick reply back. But I did have an acquaintance guy that wanted to get together with me recently, and I just wasn't sure I really wanted to, and I was holding off, and he canceled on me, so I felt like I had an out one day, and so we rescheduled for this other day. And then he said, are we getting together? Like at 9 a.m., he's texting me for an evening Thursday night. And I didn't respond back right away. I was going to.
Yeah.
And he said, Steve, like question mark. And I finally was like, yes, I'm feeling a little under the weather. Okay, I wasn't. I just was feeling under the weather to see him. And I said, yeah, I'm sorry. I was waiting to see if I was going to feel a little bit better, and I didn't. I totally gave away my game right now, but I don't normally do this. But he clocked me. Steve? Question mark. Do you do that if someone's not replying?
No, I block them right away if they don't respond. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Okay.
I love it. Okay. Well, we have got to move on. That we've exhausted that topic, I think, to the most part. I mean, which one do you want to go to?
I think we should talk about Strange Loop.
Yes. So I agree. Speaking of Broadway, one of the most nominated Broadway Tony Award nominated shows right now is Strange Loop. And it's about a feminine, queer, and outspoken is it Jaquel Spivey? Kodi?
Look back at
his name is Jaquel Spivey. I hope I'm saying it. He's currently the leading man. He's redefining what it means. Yeah, Jaquel Spivey is redefining what it means to be a leading man on Broadway. Both critics and audiences are paying attention. Hired shortly after graduating from Pittsburgh's Point Park University to star in Michael R. Jackson's Pulitzer Prize-winning musical, A Strange Loop, the endearingly sassy 23-year-old has already won Theater World, and he's doing really good. But Spivey spends nearly every moment of the show, quote, as a self-proclaimed big, black, and queer-ass great American musical, pouring his heart out as a conflicted artist, trying to decide who he is and what he wants in a world that goes out of its way to remind him that he is too black, too gay, too fat, and not hung enough to play in the big leagues.
Oh my.
Rather than give up or sell out by writing a dreaded Tyler Perry gospel play, Usher continues to push through. I love that part. Even if that means fucking up and hurting everyone around him. And I just think it's really refreshing to have a lead that's nominated for a Tony. We are starting to see it in our television landscape right now.
Yep.
but it's really refreshing to have a Black queer role model like this. I think it's changing the game. What were your
It
thoughts when you
really
heard
is.
about this?
I think it's just so amazing for so many reasons. From a representation standpoint, I can't name very many Broadway musicals or, like you said, TV shows or movies in general that have a Black gay man as the lead. That to me is groundbreaking. And especially when you add in that he's a fuller figured gay Black man. And from an artistic point of view, I see my musical so much because I almost cried reading the description. It's about not quite fitting in and not quite fitting the mold and persevering anyway. Just keep going and making sure that you are true to your art, not selling out, and just really being your authentic self and trying to succeed in life. And I cannot wait to see it.
We
really
gotta
looks so
go,
good.
Kodi. We should go
Yeah.
for sure. I think it's so good. And along those lines, because I think this is we need to see more of. There is a recent high school student,
Yeah.
a drag queen who was crowned
Girl.
Indiana High School's prom king. This is such a great story.
It
Christian
is.
Hernandez, who's 18, non-binary, out of Jeffersonville High School student in Indiana, beat out their 4 competitors to earn the prom king crown. So he's prom king, right? And dressed up in drag. And they did it. They go by they did it in a sequin gown, feather boa, and heels. Recalling the night, Hernandez, who uses the pronoun they, told NBC News, "When I walked out there, I left everybody speechless. No one was more surprised. No one was more surprised by the win than Hernandez themselves when they heard their name called. Quote, in my head, I'm thinking, I'm not going to win. I was just praying to the gay lords," they said. Hernandez shared that they knew they wanted to wear something a little different than their tuxedoed competitors. Quote, I was just planning to do something really crazy for prom, and I thought, why not go in drag, they recalled. I want to inspire people to try and break down those barriers and that have been put up. I watched this video. I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com. I was showing it to you offline. It was really inspiring. The girls in particular are screaming because I don't think they really realized they were going to and to have. So we were saying it was almost like 2 queens won because they also had a prom queen win as well. What were your thoughts when you saw that, Kodi?
Oh, it just melted my heart. It's so wholesome, and they're a figure, a fuller figured person as well. So that warmed my heart already. And you can't, first of all, you can't tell them nothing. They look so good. Drag Race season 45, here they come. Watch out for Christian Hernandez.
Right?
Right? They look amazing in this gown. The face is beat. I'm ready for it. I'm here for all of this. My favorite part was, like you said, the love and support that they got from their school. And the one girl, did you hear the girl go, "Excuse me, I can't see"? It was hilarious.
I love it.
I need to look and see my girlfriend. It was, oh my God, it was so cute.
Oh, I'm going to rewatch that. I love that.
I just wish I had the support, acceptance that was available to them in during my high school years. So I think it would have made the world difference, and I hope that they go on to do amazing things, and I know they will because they have that support system. So
here's the thing is that here we are having this awesome platform that we love so much and speaking our truth, and we are in our 40s, 50s here, and we have millennials too on the show, and we feature everybody. But I just think that it's really heartwarming to see that, because when I was in high school and there's a brand new film having a reboot that I am not for. We were talking about it offline. Top Gun is going to have this reboot. And I'm kind of like, we were talking about it offline. I'm so happy because I never know where you stand Like if we were to go to the movies, Cody, I feel like we're going to see a comic book movie, or I don't know if we're going to want to, but you did tell me about Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I loved it. So
it's good, right?
You do have great taste. Yeah. So,
yes.
But I was a little nervous, and I keep asking all my close-knit group, this is the trigger. Like, do you want to see Top Gun? And most 90% of my close-knit group are like, hell no. And you were one of the hell no. And the reason why it's related to this topic is because when I was a high school student in the 80s, Top Gun was coming out, and it was this whole macho, over-the-top machismo kind of film that represented everything as a struggling gay boy who couldn't come out at all, who had none of what we're seeing and what we're talking about. There was no Broadway show about a Tony-nominated Black queer character. There was nobody spoke to me and my experience. Absolutely not. But they sure spoke to the Top Gun and that Americana and being white and being ultra, like, and everything that I was not. And everything was against me. It was me against the world.
Yeah,
that's the only way I can explain it. And so to see this reboot now, I'm like, oh, hell to the end, to the no. Fuck off, Tom Cruise. I really hope it doesn't do well. I'm sorry, Lady Gaga. But what were your thoughts when you saw this is coming out?
So I saw the trailer. I didn't know it was coming out at first, and then the trailer came on in Doctor.
You were in Doctor No. Strange.
Dr. No. I mean Doctor No too. Okay. And all I could think was, why is this happening? Do we need this right now? I don't think we need this. Tom Cruise really need to recapture his glory days like this again? Why?
Thank you.
There's so many other movies they can remake. Flashdance, it has a biracial woman and dancing around. Fame. Hello.
I wanna live forever.
So many good movies from the 80s that they could remake that fit today's
landscape in this climate.
Exactly. That is exactly the word I was looking for. I appreciate
in this climate.
And I was singing Maniac the entire time Top Gun was on the the screen.
So just because we are a live show, and Damon points out, what does Damon say? Because I appreciate
Top Gun's volleyball scene was intentionally homoerotic.
Okay. I think I remember that. And it was, I mean, no, do they not look good? And who's the other actor in the original?
I don't know.
You don't know? What's his name? Is really hot. Val Kilmer who's in the original. He was so hot in that movie back in the day. So I know these things. It's not that I don't know them. You're right about the volleyball scene. It was homoerotic. Val Kilmer dated Cher way back when, says Blake. I love that. You can always count on Blake. I love that.
Yeah.
You know, Teddy says so many original scripts. Like there's only so many original scripts, I think is what, you're trying to say. Go ahead, Cody.
I think he means that there are original scripts that we could have come out as well, as opposed to remaking something that's old.
Right. Yeah. And so to me, you know, you talk about trigger points. That triggered me when I saw that Tom Cruise was making that movie, and just knowing everything about Leah Remini and how she's called out Scientology. I don't know. There's a lot of like trigger moments when I see that just triggered me. And when I was a little boy, so to wrap it up and bring it back to what we were talking about, to see Strange Loop with a Tony-nominated Black queer, just fuller-figured lead is just makes my heart sing. It really makes my heart to see a drag queen prom king. Makes my heart sing. I'm just absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, so fun.
Nobody go see Top Gun.
I mean, people can do it though. The gays will go too, because it's got the song that's probably going to win the Academy Award by Lady Gaga. Stream the song.
Support Gaga. Don't go see that movie.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what's our next topic, Cody? I think we got to.
How about we do?
Yeah.
What do you think about because we can stay on this teenage years things. What about the
Yeah.
songs for
Oh,
teenage
yes. Oh,
things?
thank you. I forgot. I don't even have it in my notes here, and I love that topic so
It's good,
much.
right?
There's a recent Reddit thread that asked the question, what's a song from your teenage years that empowered you to own your sexuality? Even if, like me, according to the person, you played it only on your Walkman or Discman, that would be me, with headphones on. So I know my songs. We're going to play the game. Somebody wrote the Goo Goo Dolls Iris.
Yep, I remember that song.
Okay, I'm gonna go older than that. Somebody wrote Green Day Minority.
Okay.
What else did we see in here? What's some of the gayer ones that people were? Queen, Somebody to Love. There we go. That's a great one. For me, somebody else was said Depeche Mode, anything by Pet Shop Boys or Madonna for sure. You know, for me, to answer the question, what's a song from my teenage years that empowered me to own my sexuality? Really, I remember in grade school, in theology, religion class, we had to choose a song, and I chose by George Michael, I Want Your Sex. And I somehow quoted George Michael in theology class in 8th grade because the importance of sex and how I want your sex. Sex is natural. He says sex is good. And all the things that he says in there. And my theology teacher in Catholic grade, junior high, endorsed it and said, that's really great, Steve.
Well, you know why? Because that song is about monogamy.
Yeah, right. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that part, but yeah, it's natural. If on the 45, I have the 45. I brought it back here. It's somewhere over there in the corner. But yeah, monogamy. Okay, yeah, and I think I talked about that in class.
You forgot about the next line. Sex is best when it's one-on-one. You were like, fuck that part.
Because sex is best when it's, say it, one on one. Yeah. Did you love that song?
I loved that song. It was good. I also love Faith by George. I love all George Michael. Okay.
Like, just exquisite.
But the songs that I wrote down is anything Janet Jackson. Yes.
Come on now. You know that was me too, though.
I know. That's why I wrote it down.
Control album.
And That's the Way Love Goes. Those were my.
So you're a little bit later. Yeah.
A little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. But
I was the Control album for sure because I also was a shy kid, and any Control for sure was Or
that
what have you done for me lately?
I also wrote down Free by Ultranate. You remember that song? I just remember going to the club.
Can you sing us a little bit?
Everybody's free to feel good. And then Unspeakable Joy by Kim English. You remember that song?
I do. 90s,
I played
right?
it for Joe. Yeah, in the 90s. I played it for Joe. He's like, "What is this song?" And I was like, okay, all right.
Believe it or not, in terms of sexuality, before Madonna, I actually heard the song "Girls Just Want to Have Fun." It was Christmas Eve, and I had a Walkman, and I was playing it. I rewound it, played it, rewound it, played it, rewound it, played it. Should I do it again? Rewound it, and I loved it so much. It was pre-Madonna, not pre-Madonna, but pre-Madonna, and it gave me life because it was about she's doing this dance and skipping around, and her hair's out there, and I think unusual. As a young closeted gay boy who was a performer at heart, I was a gymnast and I performed a lot. I wanted that fire that she had in that song to come out even more. And her voice, a little bit of it, but in terms of what a song can do to you, that song gave me life. It gave me that someday I'm going to be hosting a show where we're going to be talking about all freedom. And I made my way here, and I'm so happy. But music can do that. What are the people saying? What's some songs that people are?
The people are saying, Blake, he blew me out the water because Justify My Love. Oh my goodness. That video. and Lenny Kravitz wrote that song.
Honey.
It was over for me.
And talk about sexuality.
That is a sexy, sexy song.
Sexy.
And, Teddy
I
says,
think I have. You guys wait real quick on that one.
Okay,
I
go ahead.
bought the VHS copy of it that only MTV wouldn't play it, and
Ooh,
I have a
you still
copy of
got
it somewhere. Yeah, I
Let's
don't have a
watch.
VHS player, but yeah, if you could get that, we'll have a party.
We have to have it converted. That's what we got to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else are the people saying?
Teddy says Fiebre by Yolanda Monge. I don't know how to pronounce that last name.
Okay.
And now Blake says, I had the video taped off TV when she was on Nightline and they interviewed her about it.
Oh,
yeah.
Classic Madonna.
Classic Madonna.
Classic Madonna.
That video was the best.
Do you have a song that was just anything that's Donna Summer? Yeah. I'm getting some nods for Donna Summer over there.
Ooh.
Honestly, yeah. Donna.
What's that song? I Feel Love. Oh, that is a great song.
That has got to be a lot of people's sexuality, because when we saw the musical for Donna Summer, it was the way they told that she recorded it, she wasn't getting it just right. She was in Europe recording it, and they said she got on the floor and she started gyrating and they brought the microphone all the way down and she was gyrating, and that's how she sung the song. And the actress who's the actress that won an Academy Award played it? Adriana Dubose.
Okay.
Was the actress that played it on Broadway, and she was doing that moment. It was so amazing.
Oh yeah, my, so I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I love that song.
Love it. Well, it's time for our final segment that we do this every week. It's by it's by Straight Up Gay Porn, and they ask the question every week. I love that they do this. You can vote on their Thirst Trap Recap. Which of these 20 gay porn stars took the best photo or video? And you can vote on their website, which is really awesome. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the year, they do a recap. Remember, Kodi? They did that.
Oh yeah,
and it's really cool. Thing. So I put it in the Christmas present. Yeah. So our job, since we're primarily a audio podcast, is to descriptively describe to you why we like it. I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com, and you guys can vote for yourselves and see what we're talking about. But what was your pick this week, Kodi? And descriptively describe.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. First of all, I want to say they have a trans man on the list, so shout out to Noah Way. Yes, I thought that was amazing.
Wow, I love it.
Yes, snaps. However, my vote does go to Daniel Montoya only because I have admired him. I have a crush on him and his husband for a very, very long time. I'm excited. I see them on this list. He's luxuriating outside, and he's tanning by the pool on what looks to be a lounge chair. I remember when I forgot that word that one time.
Yeah, I
know. and I know he's not going to have any tan lines because he's completely naked. He's lying on his stomach with his beautiful plump ass in the air waiting to be munched on. He's taking a selfie from the front with his face in the frame. And did I mention that his ass looks so edible and delicious? He's got the blue water in the background and some green hedges, and it's just a beautiful shot. So snaps to, and my props go to Daniel Montoya.
I love it. Very good descriptively describing that. And I'm just going to go through a recap starting from the bottom. Yeah, I just have to say there were so many in this that are giving us everything. Roxas Calum has a huge dick. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's black. It's long.
Copperhead Trey. Did you see that one?
Copperhead Trey also serving in the package department. Great abs. So I'm loving that. I really like Buck Richards because he's at a nude beach, and I love a good nude beach moment, and that gives me life. So I'm living for that. Hatler, I'm really into tattoos right now, and he's tatted up from literally his whole legs are tatted up all the way up like thigh highs, and his chest and his arms are, it's really impressive, and he's got a hard dick, so that's hot too. Moving on into the mix, I really appreciate that you called out Noah Way, a trans male model. I love that. Tanner Reed has huge balls, so I'm not mad at that. And getting towards the top of the list, which were some of my favorites, were Kyle Fletcher, who has a beautiful dick. It's plump, and he should be on that show that we were talking about. He's got a beautiful body.
Ooh,
and Trevor Brooks, I'm surprised you didn't call out Trevor Brooks, who's showing his ass off, and it's really hot.
Montoya, yes, he does.
What are the people saying?
The people are saying that Daniel Montoya is very peachy, and they like my pick. Also, Copperhead Trey, which was another. I was like, I don't know who to pick now, but of course, I had the ass always wins out. And that's what James said. James says he likes Copperhead Trey. And then Blake says he likes Brent Savage. He's given bad boy, but make it pretty. So
nice. I love it.
Yeah.
And we are at our hour mark here. This has been so much fun. Thanks, guys, for playing, everybody. Thank you. So much fun. You can follow my co-host, Kodi Maurice Doggette, at Mr. Maurice on Instagram, or he's a life coach, y'all. Do you still have some spots available?
I do. One spot.
All right. Go to KMD Coaching on Instagram. Follow us at TAGSPodcast. We're live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And for all show notes, go to TAGSPodcast.com. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been so much fun on this Wednesday night. And in the meantime, continue having hot, gay sex.